Ah, what's popping? Here we go. It's 9:30 here in Chicago. Look, rep your city. Everybody on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and both Facebook accounts. I am representing Chicago, Illinois. Rep your city. Rep your city. Rep your city. We got Fresno in the building. Where you from? Let us know where you from. One thing I do often here is respect the cities. Awesome. Congratulations, True Speak, one of the unconditional, unapologetically integrity reparations. Hey, grateful. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Awesome. Ready Rock, what's the deal? My man, Ready Rock, Ready Rock, Ready Rock. Everybody come on in. Come on in, come on in. Now, when you're over here, I don't carry over situations from one live stream to another. Okay, I don't do that. I don't I don't I don't pick out subscribers and don't like subscribers. I don't do that. That's weirdo. And so when I do a video at 8 in the morning, if I do a video at 12 in noon, it's a whole nother video. I'm on a whole nother page. And I never bring no vibe from one page to another page, and I don't be trying to remember nobody. I don't be trying to remember like that. And so over here, it's always free flowing. Okay, so you're always welcome. I make sure everybody gets unblocked. If my mods block you, I make sure I unblock you. And I don't remember that you're blocked. Okay, it's something wrong with me. And so every day it's a fresh. It's like every live is fresh out the fresh. Okay, let's keep it like that. But sometimes lives do create other lives. So listen, we got Sacramento in the building. We got San Juan Capistrano in the building. So this live, my last live, did kind of create this live because I got to deal with the focus on reparation. To me, the focus ain't all the way there. To me, but we're going to get into that. To me, the focus. Okay? So the theme is focus, okay? Focus. A lot of free labor, okay? Do you love your relatives? If you're a foundational Black American or whatever you are, do you love your relatives? Do you love your relatives that's alive? Do you love your relatives that passed away? Do you love the parents and uncles and aunties of those relatives? And do you love your uncles and aunties, And do you love your great uncles? And do you love all your family all the way back? And do you think about your family that was mistreated here in the United States all those hundreds of years? Do you think about that? Do you really think about that? Do you really think about how much was stolen from your lineage? Do you really think? Do you really care? Do you really care? Now, let me explain something to you. Whatever happens to your lineage happens to you because that trauma stays in your DNA. And that's a whole nother video, but I'm going to drop a little jewel. And so when you go into the Black communities in the United States, and when you look at the tribalism in Africa, but especially here in the United States, the violence and punishment is in your DNA. It's in your blood, the abuse. See, some people gonna tell you, oh, that was a long time ago. No, that stays in your DNA. Your DNA is a memory bank. It's the number one memory bank ever. And everything happens attaches to your DNA. Everything. And so all the bad stuff happens through your bloodline. It's inside of you. So you would say, well, what are we supposed to do about it? That is why we do what? We create what? Good things so it could balance out. We take our children to picnics. We take our children to events where they can have fun. We sit up and watch movies with the family and laugh, right? And we try to do as many positive things as we can so you can have those positive experiences in your DNA. Okay? So what does that have to do with foundational Black Americans? Because when the Great Migration came and your great-grandparents formed everything the way you live now, go back to your great-grandparents because you're younger than me. But it goes back to my parents. So my parents would be a lot of y'all's great-grandparents. And they began to wipe away the pain and began to create positive DNA memories. They began to put positive memories into your DNA. As soon as it was Emancipation Proclamation, and as soon as they was free from bondage, and as soon as they was free from all these horrible discriminations, they began to put the positivity into your DNA. And what you got to remember is that starts, drum roll, in 1970. I'll repeat, that starts in 1970. And in 1970, when you were freed, because that's when you were free, the beginning of the process was definitely the Emancipation Proclamation. It was definitely Texas. But if you got millions and millions of people under bondage, and just because you say that you let them go, it's going to take time for they all get let go. You can do some history. There's a video on YouTube of a Black family that was still in slavery even up to the 70s. Imagine that. But the reason I say the 70s, because the 70s was the point where we went to the next level to try to now, can we at least ride on the bus? Can we at least get civil rights? It was a situation where you were free and discriminated against. So imagine like this. Being free but still discriminated. It's like, say you got two children and you got a 5-bedroom house with a kitchen and 2 bathrooms. And when your children play and they come in the house, they come in the house. But they can't go in none of the rooms. They can't go in the kitchen and they can't go to the bathroom. Right? You understand? Imagine that. That's what it was like for Black people after when you had the Great Migration. They came to these cities, but it was like coming in a house. They couldn't go in none of the rooms. They couldn't go to none of the bathrooms. They couldn't go in the kitchen. They couldn't go in the bathroom. They just had to walk up and down the hallways. You and my father, a year apart, the difference between you and him, they didn't take him down south. Yeah. Yeah, we a year apart. And that's an interesting point because going down south as a baby It was deep, White G. As a matter of fact, the first time I could remember going down south, I could barely remember. I probably was barely 1 or 2 years old because we went on a train, right? We went on a train down south. I think it was for one of my father's brothers, I think, passed away in the military. I remember being at, I think it was my Uncle Charles' funeral. I remember him in that casket. He had on the military uniform. I was real little. And I think I remember everybody crying. And I remember it made me start crying. I was thinking to myself, I don't know why I'm crying, but everybody else crying. So I think I think they made me sad. But they shielded them from racism. You know, when we went down south, I didn't experience any racism uh, down south. Me and my sister had one incident where we went in a store. We might have been about 7 or 8, and we went in a store. We might have been 10. You know, it's hard to know, remember. But we was kids, and we went in a store. And I remember we buying our little stuff and I'm walking. I remember seeing these tall legs look up, and it's this white dude. And he asked me and my sister, what we doing in the store? Sure did. He said, what you doing in the store? And you know, I'm the oldest. I protect my sister, so she don't got to say nothing. So you know, Michael, little badass, aka myself, I proceed to go in my pocket and pull out my $50. I think I probably had like $50, and I was like, "What you mean? When I'm doing the store, I got more money than you." You know, because we was baby's kids. We wasn't really baby kid because my mama wasn't baby, but I wasn't a baby kid, but I was baby ish. You know, she was trying to make sure I don't be that, but you know, I could do a whole live about that. You know, your parents kind of raise you, but when you're a little kid on the south side of Chicago and you're a baby boomer and you're outside and there's 20 kids on the block and 20 kids on the other block, 20 kids on the other block, you know, the kids kind of raise the kids a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of act like each other. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother video that I should get into psychologically. So growing up as a baby boom with all the kids, that was an influence within itself. And so the baby boomer parents had to deal with the powerful influence that we had on each other. But it was a positive because by the parents being so strong on the kids, the influence couldn't be bad because nobody could be bad. So we wasn't bad, but we was, and I got toxic masculinity, I don't like to say it, but the best word would probably be sassy. You know what I'm saying? Fast, you know. So we was kind of like, so I told him, I pulled out my money. Shut up talking to me. I probably got more money than you. That's what I told the big tall white dude. And then, like a true Chicago baby gangster, I went in the car. Daddy, that man in there was talking crazy to us. You know, something like that. And my daddy went in there, boy, don't say nothing about kids, boy. You know what I'm saying? My daddy went in there and ramped up on him, on my soul. And I'm standing next to my daddy, like, yeah, no, that's right. Don't say that. You know what I'm saying? Which I wasn't saying nothing, but that was my attitude. My attitude was like, yeah, you know, but I couldn't say nothing because back then, you know, you shut up when grown folks is talking. But I was definitely back up. See, when I got my daddy on you. Uh, so come on in, y'all. We just having a little pre-conversation. I like to let y'all get in here. We got Texas in the building. So yeah, but I didn't experience no whole lot of racism because they knew how to go to the non-racist places. They knew which gas stations we could go to. They knew where we could go. They knew where I'd had no idea about that until recently. I had no idea about that. You know, I found out about the Green Book, and that's when I said, "Oh, that's why all the hotels we always went to Holiday Inn." Oh, I started putting two and two together. Oh, because they wouldn't tell us nothing. They didn't want us to be scared. But when I got older, I put two and two together, and I was like, oh, that's why. Oh, that's why all the blacks would be at the hotel we went. Oh, that's why we always went to Standard Gas. Oh, I started putting two and two together. Yeah, I started putting two and two together and said, oh, because they wouldn't tell us anything. So my point is, I didn't really experience racism. They didn't let us experience no racism. Yeah, I never experienced any racism growing up. Our parents were overly protective. Seriously, and we was bad. Not in a bad way, in a good way, but we was a different type of black children. I was born in 1958. We hit different. We was a whole different type of black. And we wasn't nothing nice. So I didn't experience that, and that's one thing. That's one thing I love about growing up in Chicago. My parents made a great decision to come to Chicago. It was the best decision they could have made. Seriously, the best thing they could have did. Real talk. Come on in. We got Baltimore in the building. We got Texas, Kansas. Y'all come on in. Come on in. We're going to have a great, great conversation. I got a lot to get off my chest. It's a lot going on. A lot going on. And there's some focusing that needs to happen. So we're going to have to get focused. Because there seems to be a little bit of, we're losing a little focus. I feel like some people are kind of taking the easy route. I kind of feel like that. I kind of feel like some people are taking the easy route. With the beef and with the other blacks. And I'm going to talk about that because to me, it's a little bit like taking the it's a little bit like taking the easy route. It's like it's easier to just get on the internet and just hate on other blacks than it is to fight against uh, the infrastructure and the corporations that owe us reparations. To me, yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about that because I feel like, in some ways, I think that's being done a little too much. I think it's too many people taking the same road. We don't need that many people doing that. Why is everybody wants to go on that side and nobody wants to stick with the reparations side? I'm not gonna say it don't need to happen because people been disrespecting us and stuff like that. But I'm saying, I mean, how far you going? I mean, nobody gonna do the other work. Do I feel disconnected from black culture from leaving the South? No, Chicago is black culture. Chicago is more black culture than down south. That's a good question. So you got to understand, my granddaddy worked on the farm. So there's really no black culture on the farm. There's no culture on the farm. So my granddaddy lived in Uniontown, Alabama, and he lived on a little farmhouse, and there's really no black culture. There's really, it's just farms, it's just animals. It's just your granddaddy going out and working on the farm. Chicago was black culture. Black, when you have all these blacks from the Great Migration coming to Chicago, that's the ultimate black culture. Think about it. What would be black culture? Alabama with a few blacks, or Chicago with hundreds of thousands of blacks? So for me, black culture was when I was growing up. That's a great question, though. But no, my whole life was black culture growing up. You understand? I grew up, I was born in 1958. But that's a great question. But no, uh, uh, I got more black culture than my family, than my parents got. My parents didn't get as much black culture as me. You understand? James Brown's black culture, Aretha Franklin's black culture, Soul Train, black culture, black TV shows, black culture, black records, record players playing music, dancing, black culture, all the various dances, black culture, all the games we play. I lived in a whole black neighborhood. So you got to understand, Chicago is segregated. And so when we came to Chicago and we lived on the south side, that it was black. Everywhere I went was all black. Chicago is probably one of the most black cultural cities in America because Soul Train, that's black culture. James Brown, that's black culture. Aretha Franklin, black culture. Supreme, Temptations. My mother used to take me to the Regal as a kid and go see Smokey Robinson and the Temptations and all of them as a kid. You don't get no blacker than that. You don't get no blacker than that. Down south, I didn't get no black culture down south. Down south, I got farm culture of living on a farm, but I did get some black culture when we went to Birmingham, Alabama. My mother would go to Birmingham to visit her people, and then my daddy would go to Decatur. There wasn't a lot of people in Decatur. So from my point of view, growing up as a Black American, when I went to kindergarten, there was 100 kids in the morning class, 100 kids in the evening class, and they had to split us up into 3 groups just to take school pictures. You see what I'm saying? So kindergarten, this is Black culture. This don't look like Black culture. That's my kindergarten class. It was 3 times as many of us. They had to split us up and take us in a classroom and take 3 pictures. This is just the morning class. Multiply these by 3, and that's how many was in the morning class. And then multiply this by 3, and that's how many was in the evening class. So it's basically like 200 Black youth in the kindergarten class, 100 in the morning, 100 in the evening. I experienced the ultimate Black culture. I am Black culture, to be honest with you, because yeah, I'm at the top with the big ears out, second from the left. I'm glad my body caught up with my ears. Me and him, he was the tallest. My uncle, my mama's brother, would say, "That boy gonna be in the NBA." And so yeah, my childhood growing up was Black culture. My whole life is Black culture. You know what I'm saying? From a baby. I wouldn't have traded for nothing. It was much better than down south. See me, my mama and my sister? See, that's Black culture. This is what you do if they play with you. My daddy, he loved guns. And he always bought me guns all the time. My whole life I had toy guns. Because, him and my granddaddy, they would go hunting and stuff like that. But yeah, no, no, I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I had the ultimate Black culture. For real. Yeah. I got more Black culture in Chicago than I would have got in Alabama by far. Because really, a lot of the Black culture was formed during the juke joint era around when my parents was born. But it really didn't develop. Black culture didn't really develop fully until the late 60s and 70s. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I go as a little baby. So yeah, I'm the part of the generation that built. We molded what is called Black culture. I am Black culture. I am the Temptations of Smokey Robinson. You see the records. What what's a big part of culture? Music, right? Okay, when did Black people have the most music? In the 30s or in the 70s and 80s? The 70s. So yeah, I am Black culture. I would have definitely not. I couldn't wait to get back to Chicago. I wouldn't want to live in Alabama. Hell no. Alabama was racist culture, to be honest with you. Why you think the Great Migration happened and why you think so many Black people left? So the South was not positive Black culture. It was racist. Okay? It was stagnant. Your culture would be stagnated under racism. No, the South was horrible. at that time. Not a place I would have wanted to live. And I remember my cousins from Birmingham, when they came to Chicago, they were so excited. They was crying. They couldn't believe it. They were so excited to be able to go to parties and stuff like that. Because if you don't have a large population, right? If you don't have a large population, you can't play baseball every day. See what I'm saying? You can't play baseball every day. But because I was a baby boomer, I lived on 116th in Aberdeen. We had a baseball team, not a little league team, on our own, where the big boys would put the team together. So we had a baseball team on 115th, 116th, Aberdeen, 115th for May, 116th for May, 115th for Carver, 116th Carver. So we would all play each other baseball. And this is not with uniforms. It's just us in the hood playing. But it was so many kids that I think I had the best cultural experience of any Black Americans that era. I think we had the best experience. My children didn't have as good of experience as I did because nobody had no babies. If you don't got no babies, your kids not gonna have no fun. Who they gonna play with? So the baby boomers, we had the most fun. We created hide and go seek and all that for Black kids. Mother May I, Captain May I, 1, 2, 3, red light and all that. It was the ultimate culture. We the generation that put the stamp on double Dutch, hopscotch, right? Riding bikes. My daddy and them didn't ride bikes like we did in the 60s and the 70s. My mom and them didn't get to do that like that. And then they didn't have a lot of TV. So there was no Black culture on TV. My mom grew up, they watching the Cisco Kid and only white shows. I'm the generation that had Flip Wilson and Julia and we the generation had Black T, had the Jackson 5 cartoons. And we the ones, my generation created Black culture, Black TV, Black music, Black entertainment, Black concerts. And we the ones, Parliament Funkadelic, the Commodores. That's my generation. See these records? This is the highlight of Black culture. My generation was the highlight. My generation, the Isley Brothers, the Commodores, Ohio Players. That's the highest of Black culture that we've ever had. We going a little down a little bit. So I hope that answers your question. So tonight, I'm talking about staying focused on reparations. Why? Well, let's go back. In this particular time, I don't want to go way back. I want to go in this era where we at. In this era, we had something, jacks, ball and jacks. You know what I'm saying? Where, where I'm 10, my sister's 9, and we in the house board. So I'm playing ball and jacks with her. We got the bat and ball. Remember the bat and ball? The ball on the rubber thing? Pat, 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 pat. You don't see nobody with a bat and ball no more, do you? You don't see the bat and ball no more, do you? You don't even see that no more. Who remember the bat and ball? When your sister had a little bat and ball. What they call it, the paddle ball? Who remember? You know that? And you're a boy and you get it, you hit too hard and you break the rubber on it and she be mad. Who remember this? Who remember the paddle ball? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so you're a little boy, but you're in the house bored. So she doing your stuff and you doing her stuff, but you mostly doing her stuff because your stuff is rough and outside, and the girls got all the inside stuff. I played ball in jacks. Yeah, I played ball in jacks. You know, when you got a sister, you learn all that stuff. Who remembers the days when Christmas come and your mama and daddy get your sister an easy bake oven, and then you sit around her and she be cooking stuff and your job is to eat it. You know what I'm saying? Your job as the big brother or the little brother is to eat it. You know what I'm saying? That's your part of the game. Your part of the game is to sit there while your sister cook that stuff and then you eat it. Yeah, that's how that went. You can't get no better culture than that. I just could never jump no double dutch though. I tried, but every time I jump in there, the rope would get me. I couldn't do that. I don't know how y'all ladies, how the hell y'all jump to damn double dutch? Am I the only one? Have you got any dudes come up back on the block when there was a lot of children? Who remember the 60s and the 70s outside and the girls out there and they own the street? Who remember when the girls owned the street? Who remember that in the neighborhood? In the housing, not so much where there was apartments. We talking about when the black migration happened, all them black people got houses. Who remember? Who remember your sister and Gail and them out there? Oh, Sally, Mac, all dressed in black. And the neighbor pull up and blow his horn. And they like, dang. And they just keep going. He got to wait till they miss. Hey, black woman is a gangster. Who remember the black women gangster the street? Hey, swear to God, when the black girls in the 60s and the 70s would jump rope and the neighbors would pull on the block with their car, would the black girl stop? No. You got to wait till she mess up. Boy, they was super gangster. Who remember? And then if you was blowing a lot when they finally let you go by, they be like, I hate you, I can't stand you. You know what I'm saying? who, who remember when nobody messed with little girls, when they was the terror of the black community? They was the black community. Who remembers when the little girls ran everything? Who remember when your little sister would even have your mama frustrated? Who remember them days? When your mama take you out shopping and buy you some stuff for your little boy, your old cat, she buy your sister a dress and your sister have a conniption fit. I don't want that. I don't want it. I don't want that one. And your mama like, okay, girl. Okay, girl. You know? Who remember your sister used to make your mama stand down? I'm telling you some real. My sister would have a fit if my mama bought her a dress she did not want. She not going. She don't want it. And she gonna cry. She gonna fall out. All that right in the store. Then my mama got to get her the one she want. Your mama got to get her the one she want. Your mom be like, oh Lord. And your sister just be frantic. If you went through that, you'll know how to deal with a wife. Now, boys, I can't do that. I can't say, my mom want these pants. She might listen, but if not, she said, well, you're going to wear them. Because my sister going to have a fit if you buy that dress. She don't want it. But I'm a boy. I'm bad as hell. So my mom buy me some pants, and I said I don't want them, and she buy them anyway. I told her I don't want them. When we get home, I hide them in the back of the closet, okay? I throw them somewhere, okay? I'm not my sister. I already told you I don't want them, and I'm not wearing them. We ain't going to argue. You just gonna say, why don't you got them blue pants on I bought? I can't find them. Shit. So boys, we keep it gangster. I ain't finna argue with you, mama, because I can't wear because I'm a boy. But I done told you I don't want them, and I'm not wearing them. I don't know where they at. They're in the back of the closet. Sometimes she would go pull them out and make me put them on. But she had to go to work early. So as soon as she left out, by the time she got in the car, I done took them back off and put on what I want to wear. Hey, when I get out of school, come on, she don't know. She ain't gonna get on at 5:30. I get out 3:15. She don't know what I want. But I told her I don't want them. I told her on my soul. So today I'm gonna talk about this situation with reparations. Now, reparations ain't getting no push. You got delineation. And delineation is when you portray something precisely. So we took delineation and portrayed ourselves precisely, and we said we are foundational Black Americans. Okay. Now, I got to go back and do a little history because the whole way I got into the whole reparations movement was through ADOS. So that's how I got into reparations through the concept of American descendants of slaves, right? So you had that whole vibe going on, the American descendants of slavery. And Yvette Carnell, I got to give her props because she really the one that really got me to be motivated to reparations because she was really the one that brought it to social media. So people gonna say, "What about this? What about that?" In terms of now modern days, if you ain't big on social media, you didn't do nothing. Everything that's going to go down historically from this point around here and onward is going to be based on social media. And so if you didn't have no social media, you're not going to be considered as being significant in this era, right? So the first significant reparations concept in this era was American descendants of slavery. That's the first YouTube videos, Instagram posts, Twitter posts. There was none of that before then. So you could bring up all that in Copra and all that. They was nobody. Nobody knew them because they wasn't able to get an audience. So this was able to get an audience. And so I was riding with it. And then after so long, there was like this disturbance because people were saying that Tariq Nasheed came out with something and that he was stepping on ADOS. So they began to push this concept that he created this thing called foundational Black Americans. And they began to say he was overcrowding ADOS. And I've always been supporting Tariq for many, many years. But when he came out with FBA, I didn't like it. I was going with what everybody else was saying. Why would he do that? We already got a movement. That's what I was saying. But after about 3 or 4 weeks, I just liked it better. I started looking at it, and I don't like slavery. I don't want to be titled slavery. I don't like slavery. So I really couldn't deal with ADOS because I didn't like the idea of American descendants of slavery. I didn't like that because I'm like, well, I was in slavery, but I'm not a descendant of slavery because how could I be a descendant of slavery when we was put into slavery? And not every foundational Black American was a slave. There was blacks up north that wasn't slaves. So I was like, I'm not a descendant of slavery. So foundational Black American to me was stronger. It was by far strong. So I said, yeah, I got to ride with Tyreek on that one. And then I wasn't really feeling Yvette Carnell, her presentation. I got love. I love the sister, don't get me wrong. But, she just was coming off a little cranky, like the mean librarian. You know what I mean? And so Tyreek Nasheed was more pleasant to listen to, although Yvette had a lot of knowledge. But with the vibe and with the slavery name, I had to kick it to the curb. You know what I'm saying? I had to kick it to the curb. I couldn't do the slavery thing. You know, I ain't like that sound. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be a part of something where I'm constantly saying slavery, 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 slavery. It's not a word I want to be repeating like that. I don't mind repeating foundational. I don't mind repeating Black American, but I don't want to keep repeating the word slavery, slavery. I want to get paid for slavery, but I don't want to be identified as a slave. I don't believe I'm not a descendant of slaves. I'm a descendant of people that was in slavery, but I am not a descendant of slavery. Because when you say descendants, descendants go back further. Descendants go all the way back to your DNA. But when you say foundational Black American, that could be specifically somebody at a specific time period. So that's also why that's better. Because when you say descendant, well, I'm a descendant of people that go all the way back before white people got here. That's my descendancy. So descendancy is different from lineage because lineage goes all the way back too. But with lineage, you can point out what particular period in your lineage. So my lineage goes back before slavery too. But there's a point in my lineage where we couldn't ride on the bus, where we couldn't go to the store, where my relatives had to pick all that cotton and all that. And then I don't want to talk to no baby about that because if you're a baby, what the hell do you know? So what can a young Black American tell me about slavery when I was in Alabama in the 60s and you wasn't? So you ain't seen the remnants of slavery. You ain't seen nothing. If you wasn't in Alabama and Mississippi in the 30s, 40s, 50s, or the latest of 60s, you don't know nothing. Not firsthand. You ain't got no firsthand knowledge. But when my parents were taking me and my sister to Alabama in the 60s, slavery was still very obvious. Very. Oh yeah, you would have believed slavery then. Oh yeah. If you would have went to Alabama or Mississippi in the 60s, you would not doubt slavery. And you would have had to go to certain hotels. You wouldn't have been able to go to whatever hotel you want to. When black people used to go down south, they would pack their chicken in their food because you can't pull over nowhere and eat. My mom and my grandma and my dad used to pee on the side of the road because if you get off and you go to the wrong gas station, it's going to be a wrap for you. It's going to be a wrap. A lot of them had the green book in the car to tell you where you can eat, where you can go, where you can't go. If you didn't live through that, you're not qualified to speak to me on this. If you don't got the green book for the Negro motorist, if you didn't grow up in that era, you do not have a first-hand experience. And even if you live in Chicago, if you didn't have white kids chasing you on your bike, you know what I'm saying? You just talking. You don't know. If you was outside 70s, 80s, 90s, so anything after that, you didn't experience no type of racism like that. Not like that. You might have been in a South somewhere experience a little bit, but you ain't experienced no 1950, 1960, 1940 racism. I'm going to tell you that. You don't have a clue. So that's why many times older people like me, we don't really like listening to a younger generation. I use a younger generation to learn their information from their generation. I don't use a younger generation to tell me nothing about historically. So I use young people to tell me what's popping with young people. So when I hang around young brothers, because I hang around a lot of young people, they tell me what's going on now because they outside and I'm not outside like that. So I use them for the expertise they got in their age category. But when you a baby and you try to talk to me about my expertise in my age category, you bogus. You should shut up and learn when to listen and when not. So when my grandmother and grandfather telling me something, I gotta shut up because they from an era and what they experienced, I don't know. So what can I say? I don't know. My daddy born in 1931. I don't know nothing about 1931, 41, 51. I don't know nothing about 1955. I don't know nothing about 1960. I was born 1958. And you don't know nothing until you're 10. Your beginning of knowledge about the world starts at 10 years old. I'm born 1958. My real knowledge about the world starts in 1968. Okay? So I'm saying all this to say that we got foundational Black Americans, and there's two parts. There's reparations and there's delineation. And delineation is to it's the action of describing or portraying something precisely. So now, since us here in America decided to portray ourselves precisely, what I found to be just totally ridiculous and disrespectful is blacks from other places criticizing us for describing ourselves precisely when they describe themselves precisely. It's one of the most worst things that a lot of blacks from other countries for us would be considered like immigrants. That's one thing about them when it comes to FBA. That's one thing I don't like about them because I don't know how a Nigerian or how a Jamaican or how any black person that describes themselves precisely gonna tell us we need to be unified with everybody when they're not. A Jamaican is a Jamaican. He does not consider himself the same as a Trinidadian. So why would these brothers and sisters want us to be like a blank piece of paper? So in a lot of ways, it's like other blacks. They just want us to be identical. They want us to blend in with them and say that we separated, and they want us to blend in with they separate. You know. So you in Africa talking about we represent division, and then I come to Ghana, and you don't get along with the Nigerians. I make that make some sense because you Africans and you Caribbeans, y'all don't get along. Y'all phony as hell. Y'all phony. What? Why is y'all trying to sell foundational Black America this fake unity that y'all don't even practice your damn self? You brothers and sisters from the Caribbean, Africa, y'all ain't unified. How y'all gonna speak on us? Talk about we represent division. Y'all divided to the max. Hell, in Jamaica, y'all JLP and PL, y'all divided politically down there. Y'all won on two political sides. What the hell can a Jamaican tell me? I had a roster man tell me that we need to be unified. He didn't understand FBA. So I had to ask him. I said, ain't you a bobo? Then he started looking stupid. Ain't you a bobo? Why you just ain't a roster? So politely I had to tell him, shut up talking to me. Bro, shut up. You's a bobo. You not a roster. No, man, the man right, though. The right. I know I'm right. Shut up. Shut your ass up. You ain't no roster. You a bobo. You ain't no roster. You 12 tribe. Boy, you talking to Big Pharaoh. You ain't no rosters. There ain't no rosters. Y'all ain't rosters. Y'all Orthodox. Y'all 12 tribe. Y'all Naya Bingi. Y'all Bobo. What the hell could you say about division? They had to make a song you was so divided. Israel Vibration made the song. The song was about the division with y'all. It go, we all gonna sing the same song. Oh, they was talking about y'all ain't united. That's what that song about. This Big Pharaoh. I'm like the international black ambassador. This is really me. You got how many songs? You see how they took Bob Marley's song and made it like he was talking about race? No. Bob Marley's song was talking about rosters divided. Facts. They took that song and made that song racial. No, that song was about the division of rosters. When he said, one love, one, let's get together, he was talking about rosters that was up in them hills beating each other up and everything. Much respect to my brethren, Ross Kojo Brown and Baltimore Plano. They would have told you. Rosters used to attack each other in Jamaica in the hills. He said, brethren, we be sleeping in our hammocks, and the roster brethren from the next camp would come and hit us with wood and 2x4s and beat us and take our food and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. This came straight from Ross Kojo Brown. The one that was there, the ones that trained Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Black U. These are their teachers. I lived with their teacher. I lived with Bunny Wailer's teacher. And there wasn't no unity like that. So Jamaicans cannot speak on FBA at all. They have to totally shut up. It was tribal war. How the song go? Tribal war, we don't want no more of that. Right? Yeah, I know about that. But them same Rastas was beating each other, so the government beat them all. But yeah, the government was beating them. But the Rastas did not get. There was no unity with the Rastas. You know it, and I know it. As a matter of fact, a lot of Rastas from Jamaica will call you a chinny, and you know it, and don't like you, and you know that. You know that some Jamaican Rastas don't like your Trini them. I tell this story all the time. I went with my brothers, some Trinidadian brothers, to the reggae show. And the Rasta Jamaicans I was hanging with from Jamaica, they called me when I went over there. They said, Robin said, what I do with them Trini boy them? And I couldn't believe it. As a matter of fact, Jamaicans was my first disappointment when it comes to black unity. That was my first as a baby, right? I got my little dreads. I'm into this all black stuff. My first disappointment came from Rastas. Rastas was the first one that disappointed me when we came to unity. Because I had some brethren lived in Harvey, Illinois, and they were some Trinidadians. And a lot of Rastas would be at the Wild Hair, at the reggae. So I thought it was a great idea. Hey, let's go down to the reggae. I'm thinking we're getting a bunch of Rastas together. And when we came in there, I noticed it wasn't no love like that. The Jamaicans was against the wall. They didn't say nothing to the Trinidadian brothers. So we went and stood down there. So I know them. So I excused myself from the brethren I came with. And I went to talk to the other brethren I played in the band with. And they said, Ramesses, what y'all do with them Trini boy them? I quit the band. Imagine that type of experience when you're young. I know a lot of people be like, oh, why you go hard like that? Man, I synced it. Yeah, that's what they said. They asked me what I thinking we all rosters. Them Jamaicans asked me what I'm doing with them Trini boys on everything I love. Some Jamaican rosters that's all on the song talking this black unity, but in real life, they was lying. They was lying. Now, what that do to you when you only like what? You a baby. You know what I'm saying? Keep it real. Keep it real. What kind of experience is that, right? For this me. This the one went through that. See what I'm saying? Just let this sink in. I'm just coming into the concept and early. Some brethren older than me that's talking black unity and all of this. This the experience I get. Because I know a lot of people say, well, dang, Pharrell, why you like F everybody? Because I've seen some of the most funniest stuff you've seen in your life. A lot of these people, y'all, they just talking. I'm going to tell you in the dough. A lot of these people that you be seeing, they just be talking out the side of their neck. They ain't, none of that stuff they saying is real. This was one of the brethren. This was the Trinidadian brother, my brethren, I Roots. This the one, him and Kashba, they the ones went to the reggae show with me. And they asked me what I'm doing with him, some rosters. This is a Haile Selassie Day festival. Imagine some dreadlock rosters, Jamaican rosters, ask me what I'm doing with him. And I'm young and I'm just coming into it. So what I'm thinking, early in the game, for people say, Fro, you don't want to listen to nobody. They was all older than me, right? I should have listened to them. So early, I had to think for myself. And I had to see, you know what? a lot of these niggas is phony. You know what I'm saying? They just talking. They ain't even about that life. Stop listening to them. Spend all your energy and just hang with regular black Americans. Don't be listening to these Caribbean and these Africans. They don't even like your people. You can't grow no dreadlocks and then turn on your own people and hang around some people don't like your sister. These people wouldn't even like my sister or my cousin. They just like me because I got dreadlocks and they probably figure I'm imitating them. That's on everything. So they showing me some fake love because they feel like I'm emulating their goddamn culture. You see what I'm saying? But don't really, they don't like me either, not really. These same people talk crazy about my cousin if they seen them. See what I'm saying? So why would I hang with you? Why would I take anything you saying about all that black culture stuff? Listen, Foundation Black America, don't be listening to them other blacks with that. They lying. Separate your identity and stand on your reparations and delineate. Don't listen to Africans. Don't listen to Caribbeans. They lying. They don't even like each other. Why are we listening to them? Don't listen to no damn African. Africans don't like Africans. This is the Foundation Black America. Don't listen to them. Big Pharaoh, no. I know all about all of them. Name them. I've been around them for years. Do not listen to them. Stay on your path. Don't be trying to unify because you can't unify with nobody that don't accept you. See what I'm saying? You can't unify with nobody. If they don't accept you, you can't unify with them. You just could be made a fool of and make you think there's unity, but behind your back, they don't like you. So all this nonsense that FBA is dividing the community, let Big Pharaoh tell you, and let me ask all you blacks all over the world, when you ever been united, especially Africans and Caribbeans? Y'all need to shut up because there is no unified Caribbean movement, okay? The Caribbean ain't standing on shit, and Africa not either. There's no unified Africa. And so when you in a situation where it's only 50 million of y'all, and situations where it's millions and millions, and the millions and millions is all on your nizzles, trying to tell you something, but it's more of them than y'all, you know you're listening to a bunch of losers. Because if black people internationally are behind, it got to be the Africans' fault. It's a billion of them, right? All right, when they gonna stand and take their responsibility that black people behind because of them? We barely got 50 million people. It's a billion blacks in Africa. So if blacks are behind globally, it's the Africans' fault. Yeah. If black people are behind globally, and it's a billion black people in Africa, and that's the motherland, or 2 billion, and you got all the natural resources, and you don't even stick together in one country. Okay, this brother keeps saying 2 billion. Stop saying 2 billion. I knew your information was incorrect. Your information is incorrect. There's approximately 980 million to over 1.2 billion black people living in Africa. There ain't no 2 billion people in Africa. Please stop saying that. The total African population is 1.5 billion, but they not black. I mean, Egyptians ain't black. So stop saying 2 billion. Y'all stop listening. But there ain't no 2 billion black people in no Africa. Okay, let me take that off. Bro, stop saying that unless you could come with some. If you when you come, okay, well, you didn't know. All right, you good. But that's not true. I was wondering, I was like, why you keep saying 2 billion? All right, yo. Because you got to understand, bro, a lot of people in Africa ain't Africans. Look, the whole North Africa not African. Algeria is foreigners. Algeria is foreigners. Morocco is foreigners. Libya is foreigners. Egypt is foreigners. You understand? Gaddafi wasn't no African. But you got black people honoring a pirate. Gaddafi was a part of stealing. Gaddafi represented people in North Africa stealing all that oil. North Africa got all the oil and got the best trade routes because they right next to Europe. Gaddafi was never our friend. Never. Gaddafi was fraud. His family hated Africans. His son's wife threw hot water on the Ethiopian woman and scalded her body all over. Gaddafi family them had black slaves. That's a fact. But that's a whole nother story for another day. Don't tell me nothing about no Gaddafi. If I'm a ruler in Africa, I would have took him out. So a lot of y'all not no real revolutionaries. I would have summoned him and he never would have left. I would have smiled in his face. So I get him in my chamber. And he would have known why all these men in there. And that's why I tell him, with all due respect, you ain't no African. And seeing that you ain't go back from wherever your great granddaddy from, you gotta go. I ain't gonna say we'll unalive him, but we'll pack him up and move him to another country. We would have moved him. He would have had to get out of Africa and don't step his foot back in Africa. You not no African. You know what I'm saying? He not no African. I don't know what he was, but he ain't no African. Right? So what I'm trying to talk about is, so we got to a point where we started doing delineation, right? Where we wanted to identify ourselves. So now we had all of these blacks who never helped us, who never gave a damn about us, who never put one red cent in our pocket, who never offered us nothing, no natural resource or nothing. As foundational Black American, we got not one natural resource from no blacks on this planet. We got nothing from Black Jamaicans. We got nothing from Black Trinidadians. We got nothing from blacks in Africa. We got nothing from blacks in South America. We got nothing from blacks in Europe. We have received nothing from other black people. Everything we got it with blood, sweat, and tears. And once we got what we got in blood, sweat, and tears, can you believe the underdog that was in the worst situation? Can you believe everybody ran and ate off us? When you just think of the story of our plight and our struggle and slavery and us isolated and having to fight all our wars by ourselves and then to win the war, right? And then these people come and then they show up after we made it. Just let that sink in. We have to make it by ourselves. We have to make it so black people got the rights to walk around, which you didn't help nothing. And once we fight all these racial battles and make all these improvements for people with black skin, you that never did nothing for us, you came and ate off of our struggle. Never assisted us. And then not only came and ate off our struggle, came over here and separated from us that don't like us. You come all the way from Africa because we allowed it to happen. We made it so you can get on the plane. We made it so you can get on the bus. We made it so you can even get an apartment in certain areas. And then you come way over here, and instead of honoring the people that's responsible for you being able to come over here, You come over here and turn your nose up to us. So this is where there's beef. And this is why so many black Americans don't like black foreigners. How can you blame them? What have you done for us? But ate off our plate. Nobody's going who gonna respect that? Who gonna respect some Johnny come latelys? And you just show up after the battle, after all the lynchings and all the stuff we went through by ourselves. And I hear you come. And then you don't even come as a friend. You come trying to call me a kata and all this here. And so that energy right there is kind of hurting reparations because there's so many black Americans that don't like other blacks that they just really focusing on the beefing. I can't blame them. So, there's you got reparations, you got delineation, and black Americans is on the delineation, on the beef, because they don't like you. Black Americans, we don't like other blacks. You understand? The Nation of Islam not black people. So offering the Nation of Islam some money ain't got nothing to do with us because the Nation of Islam under Farrakhan ain't shit. Farrakhan ain't 1/3 of a man Elijah Muhammad was. Nation of Islam wasn't going to do nothing for us, just like they ain't doing nothing now. So now, he didn't offer black people no money. He offered Islam some money, but Islam is not black people. Yeah, he offered Islam some money, but he ain't offered foundational black. Farrakhan's not a foundational black American. He's a Caribbean dude. And the Nation of Islam is a failure. And I'm in Chicago. The Nation of Islam has been a total failure. It never got back to the glory days of Elijah Muhammad. The Nation of Islam today is total trash and worthless. And the only people benefit is Farrakhan and his family. Them, they got a bunch of big mansions and stuff. And I'll tell him to his face, you're the Nation of Islam. You're black Muslims. Okay, why every time I go to the gas station, it's Arab Muslims in the black neighborhood? Don't y'all think that with the Nation of Islam, don't you think the gas station should be black Muslims? So how is you the Nation of Islam, but you let Arab Muslims dominate the black community, sell bad meat, own the stores, own the restaurants, own the gas stations? You let a Muslim that's not black come and vampire and leech off of black people. Make some sense. The Nation of Islam ain't stood up to get them people out of our community and come get that money. They do not represent the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There's no way Elijah Muhammad would have honored Arab gas stations in the black community. There's no way. There is no way that Honorable Elijah Muhammad would honor all these foreign people in the black community. That's a fact. Elijah was pushing sell your own newspapers, open your own fish markets, open your own restaurants, get your own farms, get your own. There's no way that Honorable Elijah Muhammad would accept a bunch of Arabs sleeping with our women in the back of gas stations so they can get some bread and stuff for their babies and some diapers, and selling needles and paraphernalia for a drug abuse in the black community. Facts. The Nation of Islam is a damn disgrace and worthless. And I'm in Chicago. Worthless. Absolutely worthless. Have collected billions of dollars, and the black community ain't seen a dime of no Man, okay? Think about that. Them people went around, not just a Million Man March, they went to a lot of big stadiums and collect billions and billions of dollars. Show me one project in the black community that the Nation of Islam got. Show me some music classes. Show me some sports. Uh, Show me some baseball fields, some basketball courts. Show me anything. Show me anything. Show me anything. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Meanwhile, the Nation of Islam bringing in got Mexicans and all type of stuff. Come on, man. They might as well tear that organization down. They worthless. Nothing that all that hollering and shit that Farrakhan be doing don't amount to nothing. Just hollering. He just nothing but an Islamic preacher. That's all. Doing the same thing the church been doing to us, pimping our community. He just used Islam. He just used it a different way. I'm really disappointed. I'm totally disappointed in Minister Louis Farrakhan. He's a total disappointment to me. Total. And now he done went and sat down and left that little weirdo in there, and they know the nation finna crash. That's why he got out now. Ain't gonna let it fall to the ground. And it's not the Nation of Islam. That's not their 401. See, that's not their name. You know they not. Their name is not the Nation of Islam. You know that, right? You know legally that's not their name. I forgot their name, but legally, hold on. Legally, you know they're not the Nation of Islam. A Muslim brother told me that. But that's a whole other story. Don't get me on now. Let me get back to what I was talking about. I don't even think they got the information here. They ain't got it here. But there's some brothers got some I'll find the brothers live stream. They telling it all. That's not their name. It's some brothers I think in Cali telling it all. No, that's not their legal name is not that. Their name is something else. Their name is something else. So when we start getting into delineation, right? Because we have reparations and we have delineation. And delineation was very necessary because in order to get your reparation, you have to trace your lineage. You can't just go and say you want money from slavery, but your family wasn't here doing slavery. So part of reparations that a lot of people not dealing with that's pissing me off is they're not dealing with the actual factual. They're not trying to help black people get their paperwork together. Because to get reparations, it's going to take paperwork. And you're going to have to verify who you are. You're not going to be able to just walk up and just get no reparations. So we have nobody that's directing people where to go and get people to get their lineage, what paperwork they need, what documents they're going to need. We don't have nobody doing that. right? We got people that hopped on delineation to beef. They like to beef it. They like to call in African names. They like to part with arguing with Africans. Y'all ain't noticed that? Y'all ain't noticed the part of disrespect back and forth between foundational Black Americans and Africa is bigger than reparations? Y'all ain't noticed that? I did a live yesterday, and brothers wanted to beef. That's all they want. They couldn't wait. They wanted to come in, and all they wanted to do was beef against Africans. That's it. And brothers came, they was hating on red, black, or green, all types of stuff. Red, black, or green. Okay, I don't know red, black, or green. Bro, what that got to do with reparations? See what I'm saying? Just basically like conscious gang banging. Like they want to bang. They want to just do the hate part. You see, the actual reparation takes intelligence, honor, paperwork, historical records. We got a lot of Black men, they don't want to do that part. They want to do, use a tether, use a tether. These tethers ain't this, these tethers ain't that, these tethers ain't, that's the part they want to do. That's, they want to do the unintelligent part. They don't want the reparations. They like the beefing. I had dudes constantly trying to beef. It wasn't no pro-Black competition. It's ignorant beefing. It's not no pro-Black. It's not a competition. It's ignorance. It's not a competition. To compete in football, you need a team. A bunch of individuals talking crazy is not competition. It's just individual ignorance. It's taking the easy route. I'm telling you what it is. It's seeing something and taking the bozo route to try to look like you're a part of something. You want to take the clown route. That way you don't have to do nothing responsible. You don't want to promote reparation because it's not fun. What's fun to you is calling Africans' name. That's what it is. I'm going to keep it like it is. I don't want to reword nothing. Keep word just what I'm saying. I don't reword it. What they want to do is the easy part and beef under the umbrella of reparation. That's what they want to do. They want to bring the ignorance in because you ain't got to do nothing. You could just be any lazy loser and you could just chime in on some nonsense. So these Black Americans that's doing all this, calling Africans all them names, these is gang culture. This is the foundational Black American gang culture. I know what it is. Because on social media, we got a lot of kitty cats that's doing fake gang beefing. So you got a lot of fake gang beefing on the internet. And they then took that into FBA against Africans. So you got a lot of brothers that ain't like that. They ain't built like that. Okay, they house cats. So they get on the internet and they fake gang beef. The reason I say it's fake gang beef, because they'll say stuff to me, right, on the internet that outside would be consequences. You understand? I get it all the time. I get dudes saying stuff to me that really know that outside in Detroit, outside in Chicago, they really know how that really go. But they on the internet, fake name, fake this and fake that. And it's distractions as far as the people that's watching it, but they're not doing it for the point of distractions. They're doing it because they're stupid. They're doing it because they're stupid and they just want to jump in something to be seen They have no intentions of doing anything positive for the community. They have no intentions of getting reparations. They just have every intention to be a clown on social media to get any type of attention. They ain't gonna bust a grape. They not gonna do nothing. They clowns. They just clowns, bozos, want to be seen on social media. And if they find out everybody's watching something about reparation FBA, they feel like they got an audience to be a clown. So a clown is going to look for an audience. Oh, it's a lot of them over there. Let me go over there and be a clown so everybody see me. That's what be going on. Oh, Pharaoh live. I could go. Oh, then Pharaoh got an audience for me. That's what they be doing. They'll have me build an audience, and then they'll come in the chat and be a clown. And then when I say, why don't you build your own audience? Then they get all, you see what I'm saying? Since you want to be seen, since you got so much to say, why you don't do it like I do it? Because I see you trying to compete with me. Well, let me know where your channel is. Go build your audience. And, you know, I see you acting ignorant, you acting street. So I'm saying, come outside. Hell, look, I'm almost 70. You shouldn't be scared. Come outside and holler at me. I'm 70. That shouldn't be a problem. I don't think you shouldn't be scared because I'm not promoting no violence on social media, on YouTube. But I'm saying if you got something to say, all you got to do is call me. Especially if you're on that age stuff, like, man, if your age standing on that like that, just meet up with me. Let's see if that 28-year-old, that 38-year-old, that 48-year-old, let's see if that make a difference. Let's see if that make a difference. Or acting ignorant, make that your last number. See what I'm saying? Because you want to be 48, 49, 50, 51. You don't want to be 48 and stop there. I'm just saying. So behave yourself on this social media. Stop getting on this social media making black people look bad. Because you think you playing, but you disgracing something that's serious. We trying to get reparations for real. You playing. So you jump into delineation, but not pushing delineation. You jump into delineation for some clown beefing. And we going after the bag. And you know how that go. It's always beef over the bag. How is it beef over the bag? Beef over the bag? So you want to beef rather than get the reparations? Where these people owe us trillions of dollars? Are you serious? So you don't want the trillions of dollars to come to your people. You want to get on the internet and talk crazy to Africans and Caribbeans. Seriously. You don't want the bag. I'm just asking. Any of you bozos that just love arguing with Africans and stuff. I just want to know, you like arguing with Africans for free. You don't want the bag. Who's your OG? Because he ain't taught you nothing. We don't beef over the bag. Pooh Shiesty beefs over the bag. He puts beefing over the bag. Losers like that. Throw away billions and billions of dollars beefing. But real G's, we're gonna go for the money. So if it's between, we do want to delineate. We do want to say we foundational Black Americans, so we can go to America, and now we know we're separate. This is our lineage, and we're the ones who went through slavery. Now, if I gotta pick between getting ourselves together to go to white American government and get the bag over beefing with some African somewhere for free, you know, a gangster gonna pick the reparations for the bag. A gangster not gonna argue with Mobutu. Oh no, goddamn. Oh no, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So don't try act like you know gangster. Let's get that part. You ain't no hustler. You definitely not no hustler. No hustler is not gonna pick delineation arguments over the bag. Because delineation was supposed to be for the bag. What is the point of delineating? What is the point of us describing or portraying ourselves precisely? That's delineation. What is the point of delineation? What's the point of portraying yourself precisely? Because you want to show that you're the people that precisely is owed the money. And let's just get that part straight. The point of delineation is to prove that, yes, my people is the one that picked the cotton for free. My people are the one that was lynched. My people are the one that went through redlining, discrimination with housing. You understand? You understand? Well, foundational Mexican Americans need to go to the foundational Mexican American page. You're in the wrong page. So I don't know why you here. Okay? But I'm going to help you get the hell out of here. You're supposed to be on the foundational Mexican page, amigo. You understand? So adios. I don't know. You're on the wrong page. You're a little confused. You know what I'm saying? You're on the wrong page. I'm just saying. Yeah, I support you if you feel like they robbed you, get your money. But don't be trolling me like that. Because, a lot of Mexicans is white people pretending they third world people. Because you speak Spanish and Spain is in Europe. So I don't know. The difference between a Mexican and me is I'm black. A Mexican could be a Spaniard. You could be a European. I can't be no European. I'm just saying with all due disrespect. You know what I'm saying? It's Big Pharaoh. You speak Spanish. Spanish is in Spain. Spain is in Europe. I'm just saying. I speak English, and England is in Europe. But I'm black, and you're Europeanish. If you see Spanish people, you look like a Spanish person. You don't look like no third world person. You look Spanish from Spain. With all due disrespect. I'm just saying. Mind your business. So my point I'm trying to make is we need to stay focused on reparations. Reparations created delineation. The concept of reparations is behind the concept of foundational Black Americans, proving that you're the foundation, that you was here when the country was built. And the reason you're proving that is because now you're saying you didn't get paid for the work you did. The purpose of foundational Black Americans and delineating is not to beef with no damn Africans way over in Africa. That's going a little bit too far, and it's misleading the young people. Nobody not stopping and rewinding so that the young people know, no, that's not what this is about. So young people's coming into it and thinking that FBA is here to beef. There's no need to delineate and be described as foundational Black Americans if the ultimate goal and the ultimate reputation is beefing? You creating an image that is beefing. And you're putting the beef over the bag. You're putting the beef over the bag. I don't care about nothing when something pop up when we trying to do something. So when you pop up with something, we trying to do something to me, you the CIA, right? When you see somebody trying to do something, all of a sudden you start creating all this other shit, you the police. If I see Black people start to form foundational Black America and they want to get reparations, and I start creating shit, you are op. You are out. All these brothers and sisters that's creating all this other shit, them is oppositions. Because why would you do that? Why would you muddy the water with that bullshit you created? You're the police. You are agent. You want to create a whole bunch of other shit to create a whole bunch of, you understand? You want to create a whole bunch of other shit to create a whole bunch of stuff. That's fine. You can create some stuff from Ghana. Create that shit in Ghana. And go on the Ghana page and go where some Ghanaians is talking. Don't come over here where Pharaoh's at with no Ghana shit. I ain't from Ghana. I don't care nothing about Ghana. So don't look where Black Americans is trying to do something and say, well, what if, and bring some other shit. You can't do that out on the block. If I got work on the block and I got 10 customers on the block, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you, bro, but I'm just saying, think about it. If I'm on the block and I got 10 customers on the block and they coming to me to get something, can you come to that house and say, dude got something over there? That's why I'm seeing a lot of people do stuff, bro, that they can't do in real life. So it's blowing my mind because I compare everything to how we live in real life. And in real life, if somebody got a business going and they making money, you can't come over there and suggest no other business in front of that man's business. And this is what people do in the foundational Black Americans. They come in where we doing business. And then they suggesting some other business where we doing business. That's a violation. Why would you come where we doing business at and suggest some other business? You can't do that in the streets. So if it don't fly in the streets, it don't fly. It don't fly in the streets. It don't fly in no business. There is no business where a company like Fannie Mae gonna let you come stand in front of Fannie Mae and give out flyers to another candy store. So this is why I'm saying people is ultimately violating at the highest level, showing a lack of business knowledge and everything. You cannot do that in business. But you kind of do it because you're trying to play us like we unprofessional. You don't want to treat your own Black people like professionals. You don't want to treat those of us that's pushing FBA like we professionals. You want to be all ghetto. So that's why people like me is in FBA. Because if you want to be a BAN, I'm with that. I'm with calling you that. And I'm with disrespecting you and trashing you and all that. And then it could go wherever it's going to go. Because you want to go that way. And we need people in the movement want to go any way it want to go. And since you don't know no better, you're going to have to be shown something better. That's what I'm on. I'm not the nice guy in this. I'm on dummy. And I'm trying to get my money. And then when I really want my reparation money, I really want my granddaddy money, I really want my relatives' money. Listen, I really want to pay for what they did to my relatives. I'm not playing. You're not going to disrespect my great-grandmother, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, and all them because they under oppression and they under racism and shit. And then we do all this fight to get free. And we ain't going to go honor the people that they dogged when they wasn't free. Man, if you're a black man and you ain't going back to get your grandmama and great grandmama and great granddaddy and them stuff, and you let them mistreat them people, right? When them people didn't have the army and didn't have the ability to stand up for themselves, and now we moving around a little bit and we got the ability and we ain't standing up for them, I can't honor it. But then again, I was going to Alabama in the 60s. So I seen it firsthand. Now I'm standing on mine. Hey, y'all, check this out. Real talk. I'm finna show y'all some real stuff. Watch this. So I was sitting, this was a couple places I lived ago, like 2 places back where I used to live, right? This the realest shit you're gonna ever hear. So I'm sitting up and I'm on YouTube, right? On Everything I Love. Y'all check this out. This is one of the realest things you ever gonna hear. So I was on YouTube, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm on YouTube. And I got a dresser, right? I had a dresser. You ain't gonna hear nothing this real. So I had a dresser. And the dresser was like over here, right up there in front of me. So I had a dresser, right? And I'm listening to Yvette Carnell, right? Real talk. I'm listening to Yvette Carnell, right? And she talking about slavery, and she talking about, reparation, what they did to our people, right? This is real. So I'm sitting here, and right there, I got this picture, my granddaddy, right? So my granddaddy picture was sitting there. This is real. It's a real revelation. Sitting there on the dresser. So I'm sitting like here. I'm listening to Yvette Carnell, and she talking about how they did all these black people wrong. So some kind of way kept looking at the picture. And when I kept looking at my granddaddy picture, I could see he was oppressed. I could see a man that was still trying to dress nice, but I could see the struggle. I could see he wasn't dressed as good as the white man that was making the money from the cotton and all that. And I could see a man still trying to hold his dignity down, right? This is my daddy. So I'm looking at this picture, and she talk about go and get the reparation. And I'm looking at this picture, and I realize Yvette talk about my granddaddy money. That they took my granddaddy money. They did my granddaddy bogus, right? So he looking at me. Look how he looking at me right now. So I'm looking at that picture. And the vibe I'm getting is like, grandson, go get my goddamn money. And go get his daddy money. And get his granddaddy's money. And get his great granddaddy money. I start thinking about them. I start thinking about his daddy. And his granddaddy. And his great granddaddy. And how they must have treated them. So I'm sitting there listening to her. That's why I got love for Yvette. And that's why I'm on this. Because of this picture right here. And I'm thinking, they done cheated my goddamn granddaddy. I never got to meet him. He passed away when my daddy was little. But it was hitting home because I'm looking at one of the people that they was mistreated. And then a lot of you young people, you need to get a picture of your great granddaddy. You need to get the oldest picture of people in your family, and you need to hang it up, and you need to look at them. And you need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what kind of person is you? Right? If you don't respect them people. What kind of person is you? You say you're not cash apping me? That's all right. Your mother's outside getting my money. Yeah, your mama's outside getting my money. And tell her I tell her I'll be ready I be ready in the morning at 7. She better be there with my bread. And I'm not your uncle. I'm your nightmare. I'm not your uncle. Your uncle wouldn't do you around me. Hold on. I got to go over here and get rid of somebody. Give me a minute. Kick and Twitch, they got to do something because I can't see what nobody is going to really, that's just for gamers and goofies. They never going to they never going to catch up with YouTube or nothing like that. It's too goofy. And on the side note, to you people that be getting on these platforms and doing stuff like trolling, y'all need to get a life. Like, you need to get your life together because you just really you just really just wasting a lot of time. I be feeling sorry for trolls. I ain't lying because I don't see the benefit. You got to be able to do better than that. Yeah, you got to get your life together. Whatever your name is, your life sucks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to get your life together. You got to get a life, bro. Your life sucks. And they need to fix that channel. I ain't your uncle. If I was your uncle, I'm not your uncle. You right, uncle. I'm not your uncle. You don't got an uncle. Nobody raised you. It's a privilege to watch me. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, looking at this picture, right, and hearing Yvette talk about reparations, I got mad, and I started thinking, this future generation, especially foundational Black Americans, Blacks in America, you already know the history. You already know they did your real family dirty. So now, when you look at the black man in America, that family been in America, and you know that all the men and women in the past in your lineage been mistreated. How is the black woman gonna respect you when you ain't standing on business and you find out that somebody mistreated your ancestors when your ancestors couldn't do nothing about it? And now you got the opportunity to do something about it and you ain't doing nothing. Not only that, all the money they stole from your people and didn't pay you, the ones you growing up with got that money. So you growing up with Europeans that's living off the money that they ancestors stole from yours, basically your inheritance. And you sitting there cockeying and kikiing while people living off of your inheritance and call yourself a man. I don't know how. I don't know how. How you call yourself a man when they took all your money and passed it down to their family and got you competing with somebody that's got an advantage over you because they got your ancestors' money and they beating you with your own people money that was stolen. And the brutality and everything happened, and you ain't gonna go and ask for the reparations for your family. But you'll get on the internet and be playing and use a man. And so what we gonna teach our children, what we gonna teach our daughters, you ain't even a man like that. And it's disheartening, especially for this younger generation, because I never seen so many kitty cats in my damn life. the younger black man, y'all got to get together. Y'all the worst blacks in history. Big Pharaoh, look, I love for you. Don't get me wrong. I love y'all. That's why I'm talking to y'all. But I can't love you and lie to you. You brothers, 40 and under, y'all the worst black men in the history of this country. You're disgracing yourselves. You're in total embarrassment. Total. You saying stuff like, man, I don't care about reparations. I don't care what they did to my great granddaddy. That basically what you don't even know what you said. Man, I don't care what they did to my great granddaddy. I don't care what they did to my great grandmother. I don't care if they got my money. I'm gonna go get some different money. They can have my money. I'm gonna go get some new money and pretend I can compete with people that took our money. And you're too stupid to know you can't compete with nobody that then took the profits from your money, right? You can't compete. You can't compete. How you gonna compete with somebody that's standing on all your money? That could pass down their great granddaddy money to their kids and their grandkids, and you gotta go get yours out the mud. And they passing down your money. They passing down your money. The money that your daddy and great granddaddy and great great granddad was supposed to pass to you, all the stuff they did at Black Wall Street and all the stuff you had, they destroyed, and all the robberies. And you caca and kikin and pretending you could catch up with your own money. This is what the black dudes talking about they getting money. No, you're not. And every time you look up, these black people be broke. They go into the music industry, they make some money and go broke. Why? Because they don't understand a lot of money in the music industry is already their money. That they then took your money and invested it in music and got you going back to work for fractions of the money that was your ancestors' money that they took to even get the money to do it. All of this in this country is propped up off of taking people land and making people work for free. That's how America became greater than all the other countries. From slavery, from not paying nobody. So if you open up a business and you got to pay people, and I open up a business and I don't got to pay nobody, I can just take everybody's money, how you going to compete with me? That's why Europe and Russia and them can't compete with America, because America had free labor for how many years? Free labor. And then you come up in a time where you could get knowledge and you know they robbed your ancestors and your punk ass is accepting. I don't got no respect for no black man that ain't fight for reparations. To me, he's a punk. To me, he telling them they could take his stuff again. You brothers that's not fighting for reparations and stand for reparations, you're telling them they could do it again. That basically what you said. You're saying, oh, you can do it again. We ain't gonna do nothing. We ain't gonna do nothing. You can do it again. You can do it again. We ain't gonna do nothing. We ain't gonna do nothing. But a threatening a brother, shoot a brother. I'm in Chicago where brothers is gang banging. Oh, they gonna get down on the brother. Oh boy. They gonna unalive a brother like a brother owe them reparations. Oh my soul. They'll unalive a brother for free, for nothing. And then you'll have some OGs that'll say that, but the OGs ain't set no example. So what can they say? Can they see you fight for reparations? No. So if the shorties out acting crazy, but you're an older person and you ain't set no standard to show them nothing to fight for, that's all your fault. You ain't putting nothing on the table when you got a race of people that's frustrated. So we got some young brothers, they frustrated. And we got some older brothers, some sellouts. All you want to do is brush his hair, comb his hair all day, and walk around look pretty, cute like a girl, with his little shoes on, with no socks on, with his slippers on, and his ankles oiled up and showing his ankles. So while you feminizing, always powdering your booty and everything, the shorties ain't learning nothing. So now the shorties is frustrated. But the OGs ain't showing the shorties why they frustrated. Because the OGs is some B words, right? So the OGs is some hoes. So the shorties don't know why they frustrated because y'all ain't doing y'all job to show the shorties why they frustrated and why they should be frustrated and what they should be frustrated at. All you doing is sitting around like a B word, talk about, man, they need to stop doing this. Man, they need to stop doing that. Man, all you doing is shining on your car and dressing like a female model and strutting around like a peacock. You ain't got no goddamn backbone. They could just run over the race and you will step and fetch it and you let it happen. And you want to blame the shorties. But if I come to your house and your kids run around wild, how you gonna tell me there's something wrong with the kids? America's our house, black man. So if all these black shorties running around and you the fathers and the uncles, make it make some sense. You don't want to take responsibility though. Man, these kids. Then you start blaming the women. Man, these women. Okay, let me get this straight. You the king. She the queen. And she out of line. Am I correct? You the dominant part of the black family, right? You the dominant. You the male. And your women is out of line. There's something wrong with your women. And what y'all teach is there's something wrong with the women. In the real world, if your woman is out of line, you the B word. In the real world, if your woman is out of line, that's because you weak. That ain't got nothing to do with the woman. Our women's behavior ain't got nothing to do with the women. You want her to go get her hair like a white woman. You like her with blonde hair. You like her with straight hair. You like her you drop her off at the Asians and give her money to get an Asian to do her nail. You don't teach her do your own goddamn nails. You don't teach her get some black hair on your head. Why you trying to look like you from Asia? Why you trying to have a white head? So your woman got white head with straight hair on it, and you wondering why y'all ain't black. You think other races respect you? You think a blonde-haired white woman gonna respect a blonde-haired black woman? How they gonna respect you? You try to look like them, and your man wants you to look like them. And then the black woman you encourage to look like them. And then when he go get a real white woman, now you're mad. Because that what he gonna do. He gonna get to the point where, why should I get some fake blonde hair? You done told him blonde hair is beautiful. So when he get out there and a blonde haired girl push up on him and she really blonde, he gone. When a woman come to really straight hair, he gone. Why would he go with you with the fake straight hair? The only thing that can compete with real straight hair is real nappy hair. Real nappy hair is the only thing that can outdo real straight hair. Fake straight hair cannot beat real straight hair. So we got our black woman losing, promoting somebody else's natural beauty, and the black men pay for it. The black men pay for it. They track like it's her. It's her. It's her. The kids, there's something wrong with the kids. There's something wrong with the woman. And he the king of the jungle. What y'all think about that? What y'all think about the black man blame everybody that he's the leader of and say everybody that he's the leader of is out of line? What y'all think about that? Because you don't see the black man pushing reparations. Go right now. Go on Facebook, go on Instagram, and find a reparations post from a black man. All you're gonna see from a black man is his car or some weirdo stuff. You're not gonna see no. You're not gonna see no push for reparations. None. And a lot of the people that are supposed to be pushing for reparations, they run around arguing with Africans. Like that's gonna get us reparations. We arguing with Africans. To where our young people don't even know what reparations is and who owe us money. So let me show you who owe us money. Watch this and then we'll finish. This is who we supposed to be at.
This is 13 corporations that profited from slavery. So here we go. Number 1, J.P. Morgan Chase. Between 1831 and 1865, 2 predecessor banks, Citizens Bank and Canal Bank in Louisiana, accepted approximately 13,000 enslaved individuals as collateral on loans and took ownership of approximately 1,250 of them when the plantation owners defaulted on the loans. Number 2, New York Life, an insurance company, sold insurance policies on enslaved Africans. Number 3, Wachovia. 2 historical predecessors owned enslaved Africans and accepted them as payment. Number 4, N.M. Rothschild and Sons Bank in London. Nathan Mayer Rothschild, the banking family's 19th century patriarch, made personal gains by using enslaved Africans as collateral in dealings with a slave owner. I have a list of this, so if I stumble, it's because I have a lot of chicken scratch. Number 4, Norfolk Southern offered slaveholders $180. That's $3,379 today. This article was written in 2013. So that's $3,379 today a piece for enslaved Africans they would rent to the railroad for 1 year. The Central Georgia, another company aligned with Norfolk Southern Line today, valued slaves at $31,303. Today that would be $663,033. Did I say that right? Yes. $663,033. Hopefully that came out right. Sounds weird. Number 5. U.S. Today found that their parent company, E.W. Scripps and Gannett, had links to the slave trade. Number 6. Fleet Boston evolved from an early financial institution. Providence Bank founded John Brown, who was a slave trader and owned ships used to transport enslaved Africans. The bank financed Brown's slave voyages and profited from them. Brown even reportedly helped charter what became Brown University. Number 7. CSX used slave labor to construct portions of U.S. rail lines under the political and legal system that was in place more than a century ago. 2 enslaved Africans were John Henry and Reuben. The record states, They were to be returned clothed when they arrived to work for the company. Number 8, Canadian National Railway Company. The Mobile and Ohio, now part of Canadian National, valued their slaves lost to the war and emancipation at $199,691 on record. That amount is currently worth $2.2 million. Whew. Number 9, Brown Brothers Harriman, the oldest and largest private investment bank, founded 1818, owned hundreds of enslaved Africans and financed the cotton economy by lending millions to Southern planters, merchants, and cotton brokers. Number 10, Brooks Brothers, high-end suit retailer, got their start selling slave clothes to various slave traders in the 1800s. They got their start by selling slave clothes. Number 11, Barclays. British multinational banking and financial services company headquartered in London, has now conceded that companies brought over the years may have been involved in the slave trade. Number 12, Lehman Brothers. This business empire started in the slave trade. Quote from Joe Pellizzotto: "This is a sad part of our history or our heritage. We're deeply apologetic. It was a terrible thing. There's no one sitting in the United States in the year 2005, hopefully, who would ever in a million years defend the practice." 13, Aetna. Aetna? Aetna. U.S. largest health insurer, apologized for selling policies in the 1850s that reimbursed slave owners for financial losses when the enslaved Africans they owned died. Aetna has long acknowledged that for several years shortly after its founding in 1853, that the company may have insured the lives of slaves. A few other a few other corporations, companies that profited from slavery: Princeton, Harvard Law School, Tiffany & Co., Bank of America, Yale University, and Wells Fargo.
So we know who got the money. We know who got the money. Do you understand? We know who got the money. And they're trillionaires, billionaires off of regenerated money from not paying. So there's no reason we're not focusing on them to pay reparations. You will notice that when we ask for reparations, a trick that the United States used is that why should the American people pay reparations? That's a trick. Because they've already showed you who got the money. The corporations got the money. So they run a game on us because the black man's not doing his research. The black man's supposed to have a response to that and say, well, Aetna, Bank of America, and Chase Bank got the money. But you ever notice every time you ask for reparations, they act like it's got to come from the citizens, that it's got to come from taxes. They never say the cotton industry got to pay, the railroad got to pay, the banks got to pay. That's a trick. They never mention the people that got rich from it. You never notice that? They try to throw you off by saying that the taxpayers got to pay for it, knowing that the companies got the money, and then knowing that the government is culpable because the government allowed slavery. So the government definitely got to pay half. The corporations got to pay half, but the corporations and the slave owners couldn't do it unless the United States government's policy allowed it. Slavery and free work was allowed by the United States government. It was United States government policy. That's a fact. And when Lincoln said he's going to give you reparations, they unalived him. Under Lincoln, they had already started giving away mules and acres. They unalived him when they took all that stuff back. They unalived Lincoln, put another dude in there. He went and took everybody that had got their 40 acres and a mule, they went and took it. They never told you that's why Abraham Lincoln was unalived. Because he decided to give Black Americans reparations. That's why he was unalived. And so when it comes to delineation, once foundational Black American concept came to push delineation, they began to have wars against us for delineating. So Tariq Nasheed is out there fighting that war. And I believe he's fighting a righteous war, fighting against tethers and other Blacks that are unnecessarily angry because we want to identify ourselves something separately while they're identified separately. So I agree with what he's doing. But my problem is he's the Army. Everybody's trying to get in the Army. Where's the Navy? Where's our Marines? Where's our Air Force? Where's the other groups? Let him do that. But everybody can't fight the delineation. Somebody got to fight for reparations. It's not either or. Both of those battles got to be dealt with. So I'm not upset about fighting for delineation and battling tethers that get in our business. My problem is nobody fighting the other fight. Let him and them do that, but somebody got to still fight for the reason we delineated. We delineated for reparations. We described and portrayed ourselves as something precisely. That is delineation. And if you don't identify yourself as something specific and precisely, you can't get reparations. You can't get money from the airlines if you can't identify you worked for the airline. This is just common sense. So we can't get reparations unless we delineate and show that we are the ones. We're not Black. We are the foundational Black Americans, meaning we the ones been here from the beginning. We're not like the other Blacks that came. We're the ones picked the cotton. We're the ones cleared the land down south. when you go to Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, that land was not flat. Your ancestors moved all them stones, knocked down all them hills and mountains, got bit by all them alligators, filled in all them swamps. Do you know how many black people got unalived in swamps in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, filling in swamps to make it land to farm? So y'all think America was just flat like that? Black people made that farmland. That wasn't like that. There was trees and stuff down there. There wasn't nowhere to have acres and acres of corn. Your ancestors made that flat like that. That's why they was feeding your ancestors' babies to the alligator. They was using the babies for alligator bait. What alligators? The alligators that used to be in the swamps that your ancestors filled in. But we just drive down south and see flat land, and a lot of young Americans probably think it's always been like that. You understand? A lot of young people, when they go, Georgia, Alabama, and you see all that flat land, you think it's just, that wasn't like that. Your ancestors, they didn't just pick cotton, they fixed the land to grow the cotton. They won't just tell you about picking the cotton. So that's why we was under bondage for 400 years. That's why we was under so long, because it took years before they could even grow anything. Do you know how many blacks passed away just getting the land ready to grow the crops? They don't tell you that. They make you think they just went to get you from Africa and you just started picking cotton. What cotton? Who taught them how to grow cotton? What's the number one cotton in the world? Black Egyptian cotton, which I ain't gonna even get into them transporting blacks from East Africa to West Africa. We get into that later. Because they was transporting blacks across and then up the river and selling them out of Ghana. When they ran out of their enemies to sell, they started going stealing blacks from East Africa. Like 80% of y'all is East Africans. You're not no West Africans. Only 20% of us is West Africans. When someone went to Egypt, the Egyptians told them that most Black Americans come from Egypt. Who was in Egypt before the Arabs got there? And where them people at? Who was in Egypt before the Arabs? And where they at? Where those people at? And if you think I'm lying, go watch Queen Mother Ghana. Go watch the Queen Mother Ghana on YouTube. Hold on. Go watch the Queen Mother. Hold on. If you think I'm lying, you want to get some real knowledge. Hold on. You want to get some real knowledge. You really want to get blown away. Go watch this right here. Go watch this right here. Go watch this video. Ghana Queen Mother. Ghana Queen Mother. This lady with the pink dress on. Go watch Ghana Queen Mother, part 1 and part 2. And she would tell you that all West Africans come from Egypt. All of them. Go watch it. Go watch the African woman tell you that the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, the Senegalese, all of them, they come from Egypt. And Egypt had the best cotton. So they brought the knowledge of growing cotton with them. All West Africans come from Egypt. They just got even darker when they moved to a different environment. Just like when I used to go to Alabama and stay for 2 weeks and come back, I would be almost her complexion. Then when winter come, I would lighten back up. Yeah, you go stay in Alabama for 2 weeks and you be way darker. That sun is a different sun. But yeah, go watch that and learn something. All West Africans come from ancient Egypt. All of them. Go let the Ghanaian queen tell you the history of Ghana and Nigeria. Now, after they got so far over, then they split up, and this one went to Senegal, this one got Ghana. They split up, but they came across from Egypt. All the West Africans come from Egypt. So when somebody do your DNA and say you come from Ghana, you come from West Africa. No, you still come from East Africa because West Africans come from East Africa. You come from Egypt. You are the ancient Egyptians. That's who you are. That's who you are. Look it up. Look it up. Man, don't talk about your family like that. Your families ain't no busters. Look it up. That's where you come from. And many of you here that say, no, we was over here. Right, you was Mayas, Incas, and Aztecs that came from Egypt. You just came before the white man. So when people tell you that we was already here, no. Some was here when the Pangea split and people floated. But no, you came over here before the whites. You still came from somewhere. You still came from somewhere. And I'll talk about that one day too. Nobody lived in Africa. People only lived on the outskirts. Nobody lived in Africa. Africa was an animal sanctuary mostly. And we're not going to get into that because the Egyptians come from Atlantis. But I ain't going to go down that. You're going to have to go follow my other channel from Kemet to Chicago, and I'll be talking about that. Give me about 2 months. Go subscribe to From Kemet to Chicago. And I'm going to be breaking that down. That's too heavy to talk about over here. So all the real heavy conversations, I ain't talking about them over here. You got to go to the channel for that. So go subscribe to From Kemet to Chicago. Right? Go subscribe to this channel. I'm going to finish in a minute. Go subscribe to From Kemet to Chicago. This summer it's going to pop off. That's going to be all of the next level of knowledge. Yes, I had to split my knowledge up because different audience, and I got to provide certain knowledge for certain audiences. No, so I needed a page for people that wanted the high level knowledge. I can eliminate, the low, if the knowledge ain't there. So you got to go subscribe to From Kemet to Chicago to get that cosmic, esoterical type knowledge. You got to go over here. So go subscribe over there. Get it up to 2,000, 3,000 subscribers, and we're gonna be launching that this summer. Okay, and it's not gonna be what I'm talking about over here. Okay, there's some whole other stuff. I had to separate my information because it was what was happening. It was people coming over here to watch this, and then when I talk about that, they go away because they only want to listen to what they clicked on. So in order to really get my knowledge out there, I took all the cosmic stuff is on the page, all the plant-based vegan stuff is on Vegan Intel, and then my basic conversations is here. That way people that want to hear a specific thing can subscribe to that specific channel and they won't be on the channel suggesting something else. They already know what comes. You already know when you come over there, you already know what it is. You already know when you come to Vegan Intel, if you ain't trying to eat right, don't even come. If you ain't trying to take care of your health, don't even subscribe to Vegan Intel. Stay on the low level where you at. Keep eating your hog maws and chitlins. But if you do want to take care of yourself, or you do want to go on that next level, and you want to take care of your spleen and your kidney, right, and your colon, you go subscribe to Vegan Intel. You know what I'm saying? And the people that want to eat, you know, low level animals that want to eat down, let them just stay over here. Because when you eat animals, you eating down. You got to eat off the tree to eat up. You know what I'm saying? You got to eat the fruits and vegetables to eat up. But when you start eating living creatures, and then you eat living creatures that's lower than you know what I'm saying? Because you're the highest living creature. So why would you eat a cow? You know what I'm saying? But whatever, so you got to go over there for that knowledge. Yeah, I'm splitting everything up. I got 4 channels. Then I got another channel. If you want to talk crazy, I got a channel coming where you could. I got another channel. Pharaoh said that live, right? You can't just eat grass. Here go the thing. You might can't just eat grass, but you could kick rocks. Like, why don't you, go away? Okay, goodbye. This channel is over your head, right? I mean, your mother's a cow, so I don't know why you can't eat grass. But that's a whole nother with that old heifer that raised you. You know what I'm saying? That heifer that raised you. Well, I don't know why you can't. I don't know why you can't eat grass when you was raised by a heifer. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I don't know why you can't eat grass. I don't know why. You understand? This is not for you. This channel's not for you. You're supposed to be watching like Sesame Street or something. You're on the wrong channel. You're supposed to be watching Cartoon Network. Yeah, don't watch me. Watch TV. This is not for you. This is intelligent adult conversation. You're supposed to be watching Cartoon Network. I don't know why you over here. And it's past your bedtime. What is you doing up, little boy? So that's that. And then we got Pharaoh said that live coming in 2 months too. That's gonna be call in. And so you're not gonna be seeing me that much on each channel. You're gonna see me once on each channel. You might see me twice here, but most time you're gonna see me once here, once on the other channel, once on the other channel, and once on the other channel. So I'll still be working, but I'll be working on 4 different channels. But Pharaoh said that live is really finna be fire because that's gonna be call in. And on Pharaoh said that live, it won't be my opinion. It'll be whatever y'all talk about. I'm not gonna have no opinion. So that's gonna be fire. Pharaoh said that live. I won't have no opinion. I'm just taking phone calls. You say what you want to say. As long as you ain't talking crazy, get the channel banned. Can't be using no curse words and stuff like that. But whatever. Everything on rock and roll, that's fuck call in. You just can't be disrespectful trying to beef and all that when you ain't built like that. I live in a city where beef really gets you touched. So that's why I don't push beef. Because here in Chicago, you doing that stuff and they find out who you is, they're going to lay you down. Now, I'm not promoting violence. I'm just telling you violence come with that. Don't be on this internet trolling. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Don't. The internet is dangerous if you get outside your body. If you summons negativity, it's gonna come. So you need to be summoning positive energy. You shouldn't be on here playing with people, trolling people. But yeah, go also subscribe to Pharaoh Said That Live. That's gonna be fire. So go subscribe to that too. That's gonna be popping. That's gonna be really nice. It ain't gonna get too bad, Goshen, because I just hang up. That's all. As soon as you say 2 words out loud, I hang up. Next caller. It's gonna be smooth. So as you don't even get a chance to, you're not gonna get nothing but a half a second. They ain't gonna get nothing but a half a second. Soon as I hear them going sideways, it's like, okay, thanks for calling. Next caller. And then once they see you got to be privileged to talk, they'll get in line. They'll be like, well, I ain't gonna get to say nothing if I don't, you know what I'm saying? Once you realize you ain't gonna get to say nothing, you're gonna be out of here. And if you talk too crazy, you can be reported and totally they will shut you down. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be popping because that's gonna be whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. That's going hey Goshen. Pharaoh said that live is gonna be whatever. Whatever. Whatever they want to talk about. And if it's something I want to engage in, I'll talk to them. If not, I'll be like, well, thanks for your opinion. I'm glad you called in. Next caller. And they could just do their thing. But one thing about Pharaoh Said That live, to a lot of people talk crazy, I'm going to have the guys call it in, though. Oh, yeah. Pharaoh said that lap, I'm gonna have my troops calling in. So go ahead, play. I'm gonna have somebody for you to talk to. Oh yeah. Oh, it's gonna be super live. I'm in Chicago. I'm gonna have some Chiracians. They gonna be calling in. I ain't gotta respond. See what Pharaoh said that? I don't gotta respond. I can let the Guineans respond. I bring the guys on the phone. Call in. Yeah, I want to see if you really built like that. Oh yeah, oh that's gonna be fire. Cause I'm gonna bring the hood to the phone. I'm gonna bring who I be associated with to the phone lines. Mr. Big Shot. Talk crazy to the guys. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait. Oh, oh, Big Pharaoh. I'm a hey, you ain't gonna be the only one can call in. Chicago can call in. The hood can call in, and they gonna call. Yeah, they gonna call. But I told them don't threaten in or nothing. But they can talk. If you talk crazy, just check you. But no violence. But you ain't gonna get. You got to argue with the guys. You ain't gonna argue with me. I'm just gonna be. Hey, Goshen. I'm just gonna be. I'm just gonna be the host. I'm just pushing buttons. My name Wes. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make that clear. Listen, don't come over this. This. Pharaoh said that live is y'all. It's your y'all show. So I'm not gonna say nothing for you to. I'm not gonna have no opinions over there. I'm not gonna have some opinions. I might just kick the ball off. Like, what y'all think? What's happening with dude? Or what y'all think happening with this? What y'all think about Jay Prince Jr.? Call in. Whatever's going on, sports, whatever is going on in the world, call in. What you think about? Don't worry about what I think about it. You know, Pharaoh said that live. You live. I'm looking forward to the ladies calling in. We're gonna talk about everything, relationships, everything. Everything's on the table. You get to be free. You get to express yourself. It might have been something you've been wanting to say over here. You're gonna have all your opportunity this summer to just say, express yourself, long as you don't break no YouTube rules. That's it. That's gonna be fire. I'm getting my phone line set up now. You know, I'm gonna have the sound effect. You know, I'm getting all my equipment in. So if you say something crazy, I can push a button. Womp 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 womp. It's gonna be really TV for real. I'm gonna add the drum roll. I'll add everything, boy. It's gonna be fire. I ain't gonna have to dish you. I'm gonna have a button to push for you. Push that button. He tripping. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. You know, I just been spending my energy. Yeah, it's gonna be sound. It's gonna be real TV. You know, I'm stepping my game up, and it's gonna be special hosts and stuff like that. You might click on, and I'm gonna be sitting in this chair. It might be a fine ass female in this chair hosting. It might be anybody. When it go live, it might be my grandson sitting here saying, "Call in." It's gonna be crazy. It might be so you think I'm an OG, because I'm 68. It might be somebody 75 sitting in the chair. I might get one of the OGs that be drinking. I might get one of the OGs that be drinking. That'd be tell you, boy, what you talking about? You don't be with all that mess. Okay, next caller. You know, it's gonna be fire. You feel me? It's gonna be wow. Yeah, it's gonna be probably one of the wildest things on YouTube. It's gonna be wow. I'm making my little TV move. The TV gonna be looking at that like, you know what? He need to be on TV because this finna be something. This finna be some other. This gonna be and that's gonna be more entertaining. Pharaoh said that is one sided. You know what I'm saying? It's just what I say and what I think. And then if you ask me a question in the right way, then I'll answer it and go back for you back and forth with you. Because if you really trying to ask a question, but if you're trying to stunt, that's why I get rid of you. Because you can't call and try to stunt and try to show everybody you know more than me. Because 99.9% of the time you don't. Because if you had that level of knowledge, you wouldn't call in. So I already know you don't know shit. The fact you called in trying to argue with me, I know you're stupid right there. Because people that's really got that higher knowledge, they don't do shit like that. They don't give a damn what I say. Like me, I don't care what nobody say. You'll never see me nowhere on YouTube saying nothing. I don't care. You know, I'm not correct, Captain Corrector Ho. So I'm not out here correcting people like that, going on people's YouTube trying to correct them on their YouTube. To me, that goes against all the violations of black consciousness and how we come up. See, I come up in the era where you don't do that. I come up in the era where whoever got the flow, period. And whatever they say, period. That's how I come up. I know the young generation, you wasn't outside like that. See, all I know is we used to get outside. All I know is we get at the Kwanzaa Festival, at the Bongo Beach or somewhere. So the way I came up with knowledge, it was you walk up, a brother from Nation Islam talking, and you shut the hell up and let the brother kick his shit. You don't question the brother. You wait. The brother say something you don't agree with, you don't say nothing. You only respond to the stuff you agree with. This is the old gangster, old G way, the original way of knowledge. We just wait until you say something I agree with. That's the only time I say something. The only time I say something is to lift you up. I never say nothing to bring you down in front of your audience. That's disrespect. If a brother got an audience and he's saying what he thinks, it's disrespect in front of his audience to correct the brother in front of his audience. In my era, that's disrespect. That's disrespect. You don't do that. You got to go get your own audience. You can't upstage nobody. That's the era I come from. And you just wait. And when the brother says something that you agree with, you say, yeah, I heard that. That's it. You don't correct no brother or no sister in front of an audience that they have gathered. That's a snake. You understand? That's a snake. That's a vampire that you let somebody else create an audience and you're trying to jump in front of that audience because you can't create one. Go create your own goddamn audience. Original. This is how black people was. We weren't on the internet. So you can't be up at the beach and up at the park being disrespectful. See what I'm saying? But now you're on the internet hiding. Don't nobody know you is, fake picture and all that. You could be all, you could interrupt. You could be a real bozo. So that's why you never gonna see me on blue pill, red pill. You're never gonna see me on their account saying nothing. I'll be watching, but you'll never see me correct them brethren. Never. Because we don't do that. You'll never see me correct them. And if I bring red pill over here to talk, I'm not gonna correct him. I'm not gonna say nothing. I might ask him more questions. Okay, what you mean by that? I might do that, but I'm not gonna upstage, invite no brother to interview and upstage the interview. That's some weak shit. We don't do that. We real rulers. We real top level with the knowledge. You don't do that. You don't. That's a foul. So that's why I be having a conniption fit because I'm not used to that. I'm not used to the YouTube way y'all function. It's foul. It's out of order. When you click on the brother and the brother's talking something you don't like, you click off. You keep it gangster. You click off. If you come over here and you see me and you think I'm talking crazy, you click off. That's the only way you get my respect. You just click off. I never know you was here. But if you stay over here and watch me and you're trying to argue with me, you're a B word. And you ain't built like that. You definitely ain't built for outside. You definitely ain't that. You definitely a run outside. You'll cop a plea. You'll run to the police. For sure, you'll snitch. So I wouldn't even do nothing to you because you'll snitch. Yeah, you'll snitch. So that's why I don't put violence over here. Because violence, they're going to snitch on you. This is a no violence channel. Because violence going to send you to prison because a person wolfing is going to snitch. They're going to go from a wolf to a sheep. No violence. Don't let nobody trick you off the streets with all them wolf tickets. Because as soon as you do something to them, they're going to tell. They're going to tell. And what you want to do, young brothers, you want to keep your freedom. You don't argue with nobody for free. You young brothers, you understand me? You don't argue for free. If you want to debate me, you got to put a bag up. If you really believe what you're saying, and you really want to prove what I'm saying is not, you put up $2,000, I put up $2,000. Winner takes all. Neutral audience. So I could take your goddamn money. Because one thing about me, if what you're saying is right and exact, I'm not going to put up no $2,000 against the truth. Shit, I ain't got nobody to lose. I'm not arguing with nobody that's right. Just to be, I'm not going against you just to go against you. Who does that? If what you're saying is right and exact, I'm not trying to find where you're wrong at. I don't got time for that. I'm not doing that goofy shit. And you right, and I want to be more right. There ain't no more right. It's right and it's wrong. Bro, it's right. Let it go. Why are you trying to outright right? Why are you trying to add improvements to his conversation that's right? I know it's right, but I'm trying to add improvements. So is you. You a carpenter or something? Well, I got some drywall you need to go do. He says, National Black Justice Party sent a reparation proposal to the Congressional Black Caucus to pass a bill other than study bills. The proposal that no federal and state taxes are exempt. That's good. I salute y'all. You're doing a great job. Keep me informed. And go to Pharaoh said that on Instagram and send me information where I can link in to watch what y'all doing. Send me some links. Send me some links. Send me some links to my Instagram so that I could go and keep up with what y'all do. I need to be watching that. I don't know where y'all at. So let me know where y'all at so I can watch. And salute to y'all. Y'all doing good work. Keep doing your work. I support it 100%. As a matter of fact, I'll bring you into the live and you can tell us what's going on. So yeah, hit me on Pharaoh said that on Instagram so we can link up. Because then you could just come over here and do a report. You can just come every now and then and be like, I got some new updates. I just bring you like, this new update. We're doing this. Just like that. I keep it a billion over here. If you're doing work like that and you got updates for the people, come over here, give them the update. And salute. You're doing a good job. Y'all doing a good job. I support y'all 100%. Y'all doing a good job. Y'all standing on business. Love it. Y'all standing on business. I give you that. Y'all ain't playing no games. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Well, they not playing no games. Hey, hey, bro, ain't playing. They sending in proposals. You know what I'm saying? They ain't doing all this jaw jacking. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's great. Keep me informed though. Yeah, that's great. Salute, salute. You're on top of your square. Yeah, he on top of his square. You know, I support all positivity. I support all positivity. And if I come over and I say something and I find out I don't know what I was talking about, I'm gonna come back and say, you know what I said Tuesday, I ain't know what I was talking about. That's how I be living. I don't got no problem not knowing what I'm talking about. I only got a problem if I know I don't know what I'm talking about and talk about it. But if I think I'm right and I say it and it's wrong, I'm still right and exact. And then when I find out that's incorrect, I'm gonna come back like that shit was incorrect. I say it because it don't matter to me. And that's another thing, young brothers, stop tripping because you said the wrong thing. That ain't no big deal. Just go say the right thing and keep it going. And that's a part of knowledge. That's how knowledge go. You got to make corrections. That ain't no big deal. You make a correction and keep going. You don't miss a beat. That's not a strike on you. You out here with knowledge. You pushing knowledge and knowledge coming in and knowledge going out. So you can't see everything. So when you finally do see something, then long as you update it, bam, you good. You don't gotta be right. You gotta be what you think is right. You don't gotta be right. You gotta do what you think is right. And then when you find out something is more right, then you bring that. As and nobody ain't supposed to look at you crazy for that because they supposed to know your job is to bring them whatever you can find out. I can't bring you nothing unless I find it out. So I'm gonna bring you whatever I find out. Then when I find out what I found out wasn't right, then I'm gonna bring you what I found out now. This is how we gotta rock and roll. That's why we not colored. That's why we not Negro. That's why we not Black American. That's why we foundational Black Americans. We update. We update the information and we keep it moving. It's real simple. All right, so we out of here. Y'all stay positive. And reparations is absolutely a must. Okay? Victory.